Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, March the 30th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Winning versus making money, part 2 with Walmal. And just like yesterday's video, this video is for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. Walmal, I'm going to run through some charts here real quick before we get to the main topic, just to update the traders here. On the monthly, you can see we've been in and out of the monthly wick zones. On the weekly, all the weekly open gaps have filled. And we have come out of the opening range for the week here. We're just above the opening range for the year and still below the opening range for the month. 79 pips above the yearly open. And inside bar traders, there wasn't one on the pound at all today. We still have a handful of trades across the inside bars on daily, weekly, and monthly. The range, very interesting, only one pair over 100 today. So narrow ranges again, with the pound clocking in at 77 at the moment. As you can see, we missed a pivot here, but we took out a pivot from a couple of days ago, and I'll show you that in a moment. Rats, green rats, get ready to feast. We are now 16 pips off of that low. And you can see here, once again, we missed the daily pivot at 86.5, which we barely missed it. We had a high of 82.8, but a miss is a miss. But we did take out the pivot from 2 days ago. So you can see, looks like we just might end the month with a couple of missed pivots. We'll just have to wait and see. Wick zone, in and out of the lower wick zone a couple of times. Very narrow wick zone, only about 2.7 pips wide. And that brings us, we might as well just go on over and look at the Walmal trades. So, once again, making money versus winning. Where do we leave off, Walmal? You remember?
Well, kind of. The thing is, I think that we really touched on yesterday a lot is the whole idea that we're not doing this as a hobby, or at least I'm not doing it as a hobby. I mean, I'm sure there are folks out there that do this as a hobby, and that's great. I guess we all need to have that, and if that goes and brings you some entertainment value and brings some good things to your life, then go ahead and go right at it. But I'm not doing this as a hobby. I'm doing this to go and make money. I'm doing this so I can go and put bread on the table, so to speak. And that's how I perceive the market. That's how I look at everything I do. So everything I do, and now this may come down as harsh or I don't want to say mean, but just come down harsh a little bit. And as I think that sometimes a lot of folks who get into trading, they're I'm going to go and get rich quick, and it doesn't work that way. You think about it. Would you want to get into an airplane, okay, that the pilot is going to pilot, and he's only doing this as a hobby, and he's only flown one other time before, and he's never even bothered to get into a flight simulator? I probably don't want to be on that flight. Well, why would we want to do that with our hard-earned capital? Because that capital that we have, it's hard-earned. It's hard-earned either because you had a previous job and you earned it and you put a little bit of a nest egg together. You earned it because you traded it and you were able to go and make some, or somebody else went and hard-earned it and was able to bequest or go and bequest some of it to you. Either way, with any of those options, somebody somewhere along the line spent a lot of time and effort to go and put that little nest egg together for you. And if you're not looking at this market to go and further that and make more income, then call it what it is. It's a hobby. It's not a get rich scheme. It's not anything else. It's for me anyway, it's got to be there for the purpose of feeding my family.
Yeah. That's so true. A lot of wisdom there. The one thing about the making money part is we get into the brain management. On that screen that I probably should put it up because I haven't put it up in a while. and on the brain management, the fear of losing out and the fear of missing out, you just really have to check yourself and see if when you're trading, if you feel any fear, because that's what fear is. It's a feeling. You feel afraid. And sometimes I know when I'm in a trade, I even told you this, I think it was last week, there was something, it's like I was afraid that something, it's like, wait, this just might not work out. Well, that's fear talking. When I know this, that when I trust the statistics, things usually work out. It's just like today, I was down how many pips? About
30 pips or so.
Well, yeah, well, I was long at 34 and it went down to 06. So and the thing is, I didn't take my 2 points when I had the chance, and I wasn't focused. I was, looking at indicators and saying, "Oh, I got to fix this. Oh, I need to modify that," kind of thing, as opposed to focusing on trading. And so it went against me, but I I ran some statistics and I looked, and it's like, even on red days, that close minus low by the end of the day is usually greater than 20. And so I just waited it out, and sure enough, it came back and it hit a high of 35.5. So I was able to scrape out of there.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen, And the thing is, it's called making money. But the thing is, I'll call you out on it. You messed up.
Yeah, big time.
You messed up, And the reality is, every one of us is going to mess up. And there's been times like in the past, I know that we've gone and admitted admitted our failures and whatever. And I think that's good for other people to hear because, we all fail from time to time. And I've even caught some grief. I remember one guy one time actually coming back at me and saying, "You're better than that. Why did you do that?" I'm human, But that's the reality. But what we need to do is go and do the next step and try to minimize the number of times that happens. We were kind of joking back and forth a few minutes ago. Why did I do that? Why did I go and miss that? That type of thing. And it's sort of like, well, sometimes unfortunately, just like from the movie, we're squirrels. And we see the shiny object over there in the corner of our eye, and instead of keeping our eye on the chart, we got our eye on some shiny object down the road. And because of that, we're not keeping our eye on the ball, which is making money.
Right.
And that's the important part. We got to keep our eye on the making money. Stay focused. If in fact, when I first got on the phone with you this morning, I think I looked at like 3 different trades and said, well, that was a trade that I missed. There's a trade I missed. There was a trade I missed, And I remember you called me out and said, yeah, that's like the second or third time you've done that. What's up, And you're right. There was some personal things going on in my life, and which we all have, but it was just not keeping me concentrated, But once you called me out on it, I took a trade that hour and then waited for the hour to close. And then the next hour, I think I took 4 trades, and I took one losing trade, which was a trade I shouldn't have taken, but then the other 3 trades were winners. So, more than made up for it, made my daily quota for it, and everything else that I needed to do. But, sometimes we just take the eye off the ball and we miss it and we blow it. And, the thing is, that's why we have our trading plan in place. That's why we have stop losses. That's why we have all those things in there to mitigate when we do mess up, because we are going to mess up.
Yeah, and the other thing was you said something like, why is it when you look back, it just looks so easy? I said, that's hairy hindsight.
Exactly. In fact, I remember when I said that because what happened was there was a trade right there, and what happened was I said, if it gets to this level, I'm taking that trade, and I squirreled out on it. I'll just be honest with you. I started going and reading something off a web page, which my trading plan actually says do not have web pages up. Guess what? I had a web page up and I started reading it, missed the trade, and then I looked at it. I think the exact words I said to you was, why is it that we can go spot those so perfect trades? And it would have been a perfect trade, never would have been in drawdown, would have made a handsome profit, would have picked up 15, 20 pips on it. Very, very easy trade to take. Didn't violate a single one of my rules, met every criteria that I have in the world. and didn't take it because I violated my trading plan because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't focused. And that's the sad thing, because we do that, and the bad thing about that is you can get into the situation where you're going to take losing trades, but what happens when you go and become unfocused or unglued at the times when you would have gone and made up for those trades that you're going to lose naturally? And that's the problem. And with statistics, statistics will tell you that you're going to win 4 out of 5. Doesn't mean that you're going to win 4 times in a row, then lose the 5th one. It tells you that, if you take 100 trades, in that 100 trades, you're going to win 80 of them, and you'll probably lose 20 of them. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that you're going to win, 40 in a row or 50 in a row. That's not what that means. But the problem is, if you're not staying focused, and you're not trading your plan, and you're not going and trading your plan based on the statistics, there's a good chance, sure, you could miss going into a losing trade, but you also have even a better chance of missing the winning trades.
Yeah. And, the other thing about, the winning versus making money is, there's some traders out there that watch these videos, and they've been working on the Walmal method, and they've been struggling. And, a lot of times they're, for whatever reason, they're not willing to take, a 1 pip win, and they're not willing to, exit at -7 or -10. And then there's some traders out there that are even trying to modify the method. And the thing is, we've been doing this for a little over a year now. And if you haven't been doing the Walmal method, I would say for at least 30 days or more, and you're trying to modify it, you're missing out. I mean, unless you've been running statistics that prove what you're trying to do, just stick with the method. It's proven. We've run the statistics. The videos are out there showing you the whole thing. And I guess it's whether or not you can get out of your own way and just follow the plan and make money. Because I just put the 5-minute chart up here, and you can see it's been bouncing around that 20 line. And if you would have taken that last trade on the last 5-minute candle, and if you would have stuck in there right now, you'd be up 2 pips.
Right. And sometimes, and the reality is on the Walmal method, yes, the goal is to get 10 pips. Absolutely. But let's look, you got that 5-minute chart up there. Let's look left of that and see what it's done.
Wait, hold on a second, Walmal. Is the goal to get 10 pips on every trade, or is it your goal to get 10 pips for the day? You got to clarify that for this trader.
So. My goal is to get 10 pips on the day, and, if you use the 10-5-1 method, sometimes you get lucky and get it on the first trade, and that's great. But the reality is, when I look left and I see the fact that we're in a trading range right now, we're just bouncing from one end to the other end, and and the reality is that what you see here is lots of consolidation. That should go and set off a light bulb in your head. It's consolidating. You know what? I'm going to get into this trade. I'm going to take the trade. When the trade stops moving, let's say I get up and I'm up a pip or up 2 pips, and all of a sudden the market's not moving anymore, it just comes to a dead stop, maybe it's time to get out. Yeah, I may miss that big move up, but the reality is I can now get out. I can put a pip in the bank. And, there's the old expression, if it stalls, it falls, And the idea is, okay, it moved up to a certain level, and now it's stopped. Okay, and it just seems, I don't know if this is statistically true or not, but it just seems to me every time it gets up to a particular level, every time it gets there and it stops and it doesn't move, it just seems to go against me every time. So from my psychology, I say, you know what? I'd rather go put a pip in my bank, and you'd be mad at the fact that I'd maybe left 5 or 6 pips on the table than be up a pip or two, and now I'm sitting there with a loss. And so that's how I look at things. Now, you may be different. Every trader is different. Yep. But that's how I look at things.
Yep, every trader is different, and the fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about up. So, since every trader is different, it just goes to show you it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.